If your raised bed feels lifeless, dry, or compacted, chances are you're missing one of the most powerful forces of soil health: earthworms. These unsung heroes are essential for building rich, aerated, living soil, yet many gardeners struggle to get them into raised beds. The good news is, you don't need to buy earthworms or hope they wander in, you just need to create the right environment. By adding 3 key elements, you can turn any raised bed into a worm magnet and jumpstart a complete soil transformation. The first and most important factor is consistent moisture. Earthworms breathe through their skin, and they require a damp environment to survive. If the soil in your raised bed dries out even briefly, worms will avoid it or move on in search of more stable conditions. That's why mulching is non-negotiable. A thick layer of mulch made from straw, dried leaves, or aged compost protects the soil surface from drying winds and scorching sun. Beneath that layer, moisture stays locked in, giving worms the conditions they need to move, feed, and reproduce. Unlike bare soil, which swings between too dry and too wet, mulched soil creates a buffered, balanced habitat where worms can thrive all season long. The second key to attracting earthworms is offering consistent food sources, not fertilizers, but real organic matter that breaks down gradually. Earthworms feed on microbes, fungi, and decomposing plant materials. When there's nothing to eat, there's no reason for them to stay. One of the most effective worm foods is alfalfa pellets. When moistened and lightly buried beneath the mulch, alfalfa breaks down quickly and releases proteins and sugars that stimulate microbial activity. This microbial bloom draws in earthworms like a dinner bell. They not only consume the decomposing material, but also begin depositing nutrient-rich castings throughout your soil, boosting fertility from the root zone up. You can also add small amounts of soaked cardboard, aged compost, or soft kitchen scraps in feeding zones to keep worm activity strong. The key is to avoid meat, dairy, or citrus, which may disrupt soil balance or attract pests. The third powerful worm attractant is a stable, chemical-free environment. Earthworms are sensitive creatures, and even small amounts of synthetic fertilizers or herbicides can disrupt their activity or drive them away entirely. To create a safe and welcoming space, it's essential to avoid conventional fertilizers, pesticides, or treated wood within your raised bed. Instead, rely on organic practices that encourage microbial life. Compost tea, diluted worm castings, and fermented plant extracts are excellent additions that boost soil biology and enhance the food web that earthworms feed on. A biologically active bed signals to worms that your garden is a safe, food-rich place to settle down, reproduce, and do their work. Once these 3 elements, moisture, food, and a safe environment, are in place, earthworms will begin to move in naturally. Sometimes they arrive from nearby garden beds or compost piles. Other times they're already present in small numbers, just waiting for better conditions to become active. Within a few weeks of adding mulch, worm food, and natural inputs, you may start noticing their surface castings, tunnels, and movement just under the soil line. These are all signs that your soil is waking up and that your raised bed is on its way to becoming a thriving, living ecosystem. What makes this approach so effective is its simplicity. You're not forcing nature, you're working with it. Earthworms don't need to be managed, rotated, or replaced. Once they find a home in your garden, they'll stay and multiply as long as their needs are met. Their presence improves aeration, water retention, and nutrient cycling, all of which lead to healthier plants and higher yields. Over time, their tunnels create natural drainage channels that prevent waterlogging, and their castings supply plants with a steady stream of slow-release nutrients that outperform most fertilizers. If you've struggled with hard, compacted, or unproductive raised beds, this method may be exactly what you need. It's low-cost, sustainable, and completely hands-off once it's in place. You won't need to dig, till, or constantly amend your soil. The earthworms will do all of that for you, quietly, consistently, and efficiently. To keep learning more about smart, regenerative gardening methods that actually work, be sure to subscribe to HydroHaven. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are looking to revive their raised beds naturally. When you attract earthworms, you're not just improving your soil, you're building a self-sustaining system that supports your garden for years to come.